The king is back. I am of course talking about the almighty Drake Corsair. If you haven't really been paying attention, or you don't really care about this ship, you may not have known this, but it was nerfed some time ago. In the original form, Pilot could control 6 weapon slots. Then it was nerfed to 4, and the extra 2 were given to the co-pilot for use in any combat scenarios. And well, now we have it back, at least in some form. The pilot once again controls 6 weapon slots. Yet in a way it has been rebalanced. I believe originally, or in the initial release, this ship had 4 size 5 and 2 size 4 weapon slots. Then with the first adjustment we had 2 and 2, so 2 size 5 and 2 size 4. And as of 4.1 we have reached another scenario which I actually kinda speculated. It has now 4 size 4 and 2 size 5 weapon slots. I believe that was also a rather viable solution. Still pretty big weapons and quite a lot of damage. It is clearly a remarkable nerf, but not as bad as what was before. This means the Corsair pilots can once again have massive amount of firepower at the hands or at their fingertips. If anyone didn't know, all of this happened because Corsair was overperforming. It got something like 80% of the kills in engagements. It was, and I believe once again is, a ship which has the most amount of firepower at the pilot's hands. It's a ship you would use against strong bounty missions or against most large ships. There's the firepower, accommodations, relatively good cargo area, even armory, and the social room, with an additional option to exit to the roof. The smaller, lighter, faster, or in general more agile ships could outplay it, of course. But when it came to the large ships, or encounters with the relatively large or near capital class ships, fighting against even hammerheads or an Idris, it could perform against medium-sized ships and above rather well. But it is also slower to turn than most medium-sized ships, so that should be kept in mind. I believe it is most important to get this ship out with correct weapons. May they be ballistic or energy. That is all up to the player. It also depends on the damage maximization and sustainability. But as a casual player, I can totally understand that this is not necessary to spend near a mil or more for the weapon upgrades alone. And yes, that is just for the 6 weapon slots, depending on what you get, of course. Not to mention missiles and modules which could set you back even more, perhaps near half a mil. Even with its default loadout, default weapons, and everything that the ship comes at stock with, it still means business, as it can take a pretty good beating with a size 3 shield, while also retaining large amount of health. I am not here to say it is super durable, but if you play it smart, it can take a proper beating. I have never really liked to use this ship against Idris. I have participated in several events with this ship against that specific ship. Maybe that is because I have gotten rather deadly hits from it more than once. But I understand its value in encounters like that. Perhaps it is no longer as deadly, but still having 4 size 4 and 2 size 5 weapon slots gives it a lot of potential and a lot of DPS. So we can once again consider it a good ship. Perhaps even a great ship. I wouldn't say it got its old shine back, but it is returning to the game with new adjustments, which I think might actually be good for it, because it did have that heavy loadout which meant business, and it was a pretty heavy go-to ship for many players who want to take on large targets. So I want to hope this balancing is actually pretty good, but it is also very probable that it can become dominant again, racking up a really high average KDO among the player base, thus resulting in another nerf. I hope not, but in a way it is ironic that Corsair gets the nerf hammer, while a ship like F7A Mark II is still very dominant, most often preferred among the fighters, and hasn't really gotten hit that hard. I hope they won't touch it further, but if they do, it will probably end up being 6 size 4 weapon slots at the hands of the pilot. For the time being, I am happy that it's back. There is some shine, there is some hope, and I think it will become pretty popular pretty fast once again. Anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.